Vapor4Life.com here, back again. Thank you so much for joining me. Really excited today. I've got a really cool product to share with you guys, basically a vaping industry first, and that's the new DVCT, or dual vertical coil tank, for the KR808 battery from the great staff at Vapor4Life. Who'da thunk? A dual vertical coil tank system for the KR808. First, I do have, if you could just bear with me and give me like 30 seconds, I do have a couple personal shout outs to make. First of all, to Chad R. Chad, that's what it looks like right there. Okay. I got a lot of lovers in the house, so for plant lover and canine lover, we are going to do a quick tutorial on how to fill tanks. So we'll do that along with the review. Also, a giant shout out and congratulations to MMC. Happy Vaporversary, hun. 1 year, no cigarettes. That is awesome. So congratulations to you. And finally, to a very close friend of mine, Pablo, who's just added a new fur baby to the family, got a new dog, Mario, you know, a playmate, little canine bro for his buddy Loki. You know what? Welcome to the family. And for all of you, you know, congratulations on your new home and congratulations on your new addition. Okay, outside of that, thank you very much for letting me do that. Let's get to the review. Today I received both the 6 milliliter and 3.5 milliliter dual vertical coil tanks from Vapor4Life. Each came in its own separate packaging where it shows the color of the caps and the ohm ratings of the cartomizers enclosed. So let's go ahead and take a look at these. The 3.5 millimeter model currently is a black Delrin cap tank. The 6 milliliter model is a polished aluminum cap tank. Both tanks come with a 25 millimeter clear drip tip. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of these tanks and we'll take them apart. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to remove the clear drip tip and we're going to push the cartomizer out a little bit. This enables us to grab it by the flange and remove it from the tank tube. The caps simply kind of twist off. And this is the basics of a tank. Now let's take a look at the actual cartomizer. One thing that's really cool for any of those of you who've ever tried to do this with the standard single vertical coil to make a tank is you can see those notches in the flange. Now I've tried to make tanks out of single vertical coil cartomizers, and this has always been the problem, is getting the right airflow. So you always had to kind of adjust it and lift it from the bottom, and then that created leakage problems. So I just never was able to get a good tank working with a single vertical cartomizer. Let me just move this aside. Let's see if we can get this into focus. Okay. Let me see that. Okay, it's a little hard to see, but they're very small holes drilled into both sides of the cartomizer. I'll try and get that in there. So what happens is it creates unequal pressure once you take your draw. It creates a vacuum, and that vacuum then basically sucks the juice through these little holes and continuously feeds the polyfill absorbent material, keeping it nice and fresh and wet. Let's go ahead and put this back together. I always wet the end cap O-rings as well as the drip tips whenever I install these back onto the tube. So you just have to excuse me there and just kind of give it the old, put it in my mouth there and get a little wet. And When you put these on, a lot of times the O-rings may catch on the side, so you kind of want to put them on and twist them as you're putting them in until they feed all the way in. Okay? Now, when you look at the caps, it's pretty evident there's one end that's recessed, and that's where the flange end goes in, and then there's another end that's nice and smooth, and that's where the drip tip or mouthpiece end will come in. So when we go to put them back in, again, I can't emphasize this enough, this is where O-rings fail. And that is to always wet anything that comes into contact with the O-rings, whether you're putting the caps onto the tube or whether you're sliding a fresh cartomizer back into the tube. So just kind of give that the old tongue there. And we'll push this right back in. I'm going to fully assemble this, and then I'm going to go ahead and show how to fill it. Okay, so here we have our tank. So when you go to fill a tank, I've actually looked at the website at Vapor4Life. Their way of doing how they fill the tank is a little differently than the way I fill a tank. I generally fill the tank first, push it back up into place, then I fill the cartomizer about halfway, then I take a dry hit while it's off the battery to suck juice into the cartomizer, and then it's good to go. Their instructions are a little different. Their instructions are to go ahead and pull the cartomizer out about a ½ inch, flood the cartomizer until it spills over into the tank, fill the tank, push the whole unit back up, and then you're good to go. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to show you basically the way I do it, and if you want to alter that, then go right ahead. So the first thing I do is remove the drip tip. Then simply push the cartomizer down, which exposes the flange and gives you a place to pull it out. I pull it out just far enough, as you can see, so that I can then drip juice in. Now I have altered some of my bottles, I'm not sure if this one is or not, by taking a finish nail and kind of poking it through the dropper. This allows you to squirt it into the tank, but we'll certainly just go this route right now. So you simply take the dropper, put it in to the tank, and fill the tank. Now at this point, we're just going to push the tank back into position. And as you can see, I've got a little juice in there right now. I'm going to top it off with a little bit more. I generally go about 10 droplets. As well, I never fill the tanks all the way up to the top. I like to fill them around 7/8. So we'll see if we can get a picture of that in there. Okay, so once the tank is in, I set the tank on a flat surface, take a drip tip, wet the O-ring, push down until I feel that it's snapped into place. Now at this point, I take a dry hit. So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my finger, I'm going to put it over the base of the tank, and I'm just going to suck on it once or twice. I'm not going to show this on the camera, but all this does is basically draws fluid into the bottom. I've already got fluid into the top. Moisture attracts to moisture, and that should fill the entire length of the polyfill material. You'll feel just a little bit of a resistance. So now I have my tank, and I'm probably pretty good to go as far as vaping. I happen to also have another new release, and these are just awesome. This is the new Diamond Manual Series batteries. And, I just can't, I just can't find enough good words to say about these batteries, but I can leave that for a different review. Today's juice, today I'm going to be refilling with some 24 milligram Wow Peppermint. So let me go ahead and I'm going to change the camera angle here a little bit and we'll see how this toots. So let's just go ahead and we'll attach this. That actually looks pretty sharp right there. Matte black, black Delrin caps, and a black Delrin drip tip. Now a lot of people worry when, about tanks if they're not familiar with them, and they wonder, well, will they leak if you turn them upside down? And the answer is no, they shouldn't leak. I'm sure if I held this for an hour upside down, eventually juice would flow through the polyfill material, but just for a little bit, no. So that means that you can go ahead and you can rest it on a desktop or a tabletop. Let's go ahead and give this a toot, see how this does. Wow, that's just great flavor, great draw, really good throat hit. That was so good, I gotta do that again. Wow, that's just, that is, the only word I can say is that is awesome. I really like how the 3.5 mil tank fits. I vape about 3.5 mils a day, so that's just perfect. I do I never really fill the tanks all the way up. I kind of fill them about 7/8 of the way up. But let's real quickly talk about topping off the tank. You've got the feeder holes at the very base here, right above the bottom end caps. And so, when you drain the fluid down, you want to top it back off again. It's kind of a tricky procedure because of the fact that if you do it wrong, you're going to spill your juice everywhere. So I can't emphasize this enough to take your time when you go to top these off. So let's go ahead and remove the drip tip from the tank. What we're going to do is we really want to hold the cap and the tube very securely and push down on the cartomizer, then switch hands, and while you're still holding it securely, take the cartomizer and turn it as you're pulling it out. And you just want to pull it down far enough so that the top of the cartomizer is below the top cap. I don't know if you can see that or not. That will give you enough room to take your bottle of juice and fill it up some more. Like so. Then simply push the cartomizer back into place and replace the drip tip. And you have refilled your tank. Now, there's really no way to avoid not getting a little juice on your fingers just because you're holding, when you pull the flange back, you tend to touch the cartomizer and it's got a little bit of juice on it. So afterwards, just wipe your tank down. Go ahead and reinstall your battery. Got a freshly filled tank. Wow, that's just awesome. The only other advice I can give is, because the polyfill stays so saturated, the best way to take your draw is a very slow, measured draw. If you hit this really hard, you may end up getting a little bit of juice in your mouth. So, awesome. So thanks a lot for joining me, folks. Again, this is Steve at teamcarrier808.com. Great job there, guys, over at Vapor4Life. Really digging the dual vertical coil tank. Awesome. Catch you guys next time.